Hello, hello. So we're going to look at Black Star by Gillian Welch. And it's a fairly simple song in terms of chord progression. It's using chords that are all part of our diatonic chord family. And it's in the key of A, but I believe they're playing it, or she's playing it with a capo on the second fret of the guitar. So instead of holding A in a traditional form without the capo, we're playing our A as if we are holding a G form of the chord as such on the fifth fret of the guitar. And this is our home key and our home shape. So the intro and the verse can use the same, or uses the exact same chord progression, which looks kind of like this, or sounds kind of like this. And so on and so forth. So what's going on here? We start with a G kind of shape chord. Another, I have a capo, I'll refer to them as if we're playing them in G form. So we have a G looking chord, a G chord here, which goes to what can be called a C add 9. So all we're doing is taking those two first notes that we used up here to play a G and moving them down one string respectively. So from our middle finger being on the sixth string, the fifth fret of the E string here, it's going to move down to the fifth fret of the A string. And in the same manner, our first finger, which is on the fourth fret of the A string, is going to move down to the fourth fret of the D string. So those two fingers just move down a string. And now we have a C add 9 chord. And the way I'm holding this G to begin with is I have my pinky down here on the fifth fret of the E string, high E string, and my ring finger on the fifth fret of the B string. So I went from that G shape, took those two fingers down to get to what is called a C add 9 chord. And then we're going to go and have a little kind of bass pattern here. So we're going to strum this a couple times. So we're going to hear. And then we're going to hear the notes. So we're going to go from this C shape, hit that bass note, release it, and replace it with our first finger now on the fourth fret of the A string. So this is now called a G chord, but over, or be a B in this case. So we go from C add 9, and then we'll end on D. So then we'll hit this bass note again on the A string, and then go to a D shaped chord. So those four chords together sound like this: G, C add 9, to the B, G of a B, to our D chord. So you have to be aware of that one kind of bass note melody. Go to that G of a B, and then that B to our D chord. Then we're going to go to an E minor chord. Then we're going to have another kind of bass note melody here from our E minor. So we're going to go. So we go from E minor, release that A minor, play an open A string, and then grip a B minor chord. But now it sounds, well, there's kind of two guitars playing in this song. So we hear this kind of open E note. I'm not sure if that's the first or second guitar. I'm assuming it might be the first guitar, in which case when we hold this B minor chord, we're not going to hold it with a full bar. Usually we'd hold the B minor chord like this, with our first finger putting a bar across all 5 of these strings, maybe even all 6 of these strings. But in this case, we're just going to let our first finger fret the fourth fret of the A string, and continue being open. I'll try to get a side view here. So not flat, open. So this open E string is ringing. And often you hear this kind of picking motion, where we pluck the E string, B string, and the G string while she's doing that. So from that E minor chord, we went bass note, open A string, something along those lines. It's not always that specific. And then to end that cycle, we're going to have another bass note melody, which goes open E string, the 4th fret of the E string now with our first finger, and then end on the 5th fret of that E string, and finish off with the G chord. And we're back to our G so far, and the cycle starts again. So we go from E minor, that B minor, then the bass melody, and we're back on G. So let's play that. I'm going to play that a couple times through, and you can try follow along. 2, 3, 4, G, C at 9, bass melody to a G over B, D, and then E minor to our B minor, bass melody back to G, and the cycle starts again. C at 9, E minor, bass melody to our B minor, and that takes care of the intro and the verse. Now the second part of the verse, where she starts singing, she does a cycle again, but instead of going from this B minor and going back to G, she goes from this B minor and stays there. Then on the I think the melody is "What are we going to?" On that part, she goes, "What are we going to?" and goes to a C chord. And she lingers on the C for a while, and so she does something which is quite common for this kind of era of guitar playing or folk kind of music, where she kind of hammers on and pulls off of this note that your middle finger is taking care of on the C chord. I'm doing it nice and exaggerated so you can see what I'm doing. And again, it's not specific, it's just kind of like a nice kind of touch and musical flavor as she lingers on this chord for a while. So you can have kind of fun how many times you do that. So we go from this B minor, stays on that for a while, then goes back to our B minor shape, and then we're going to go to the chorus, so Blame It on the Black Star, to our A minor chord here, Black Star, and then a bass note melody here, a quick one, to approach our C. So again, it goes. So I'm just going A minor, lifting up, and putting my middle finger on that 4th fret of the A string. I'll keep my first finger where it always was, and I can even strum through a few strings here, but the point is to mostly get this kind of bass note sounding. Then go to my C shape, and then we go back and repeat the same thing. Then she takes that C shape and moves it up 2 frets to get a kind of D sound. This is a very open sounding D chord. It's kind of a D chord with a sus at the same time. And then we go back to our G. So blame it on the black star, or whatever the lyrics are. Back to A minor. Walk up, then to D. Then we go to our G chord here, to our C add 9. So we repeat the G to C add 9 twice, and the second time we do that C add 9, we're going to do another kind of walking bass motion. We're going to start our C add 9 here, to our G over B shape, and then go to our D. And then we're going to go back to our C shape, and we're going to end this chorus sequence with another walking bass pattern, which goes. So we start on our G note on the fret of the E string, open A string, 4th fret of the A string, 5th fret of the A string, and then on the C, add 9, and then we're back to the verse for the intro, same chords, and the cycle continues. And that's it. So let's look at it again from what are we going through. Then to the B minor. Oh, I forgot one chord. It's actually a D right before Blame on the Black Star. So D chord there, then A minor, which I forgot to mention earlier. To C major. Then back to A minor. Walk up the bass to C major. To the D shape. Then G, C add 9. G. Walking bass note, turn to our D, to our C, then to end the whole cycle. Then we're back at the verse, and the whole cycle repeats. Verse, chorus, and then we play that whole cycle again over the kind of guitar or mandolin solo. I'm not sure what's going on there. So yeah, let's look at it from the top. That whole cycle through, I'll play like the verse, and then the chorus, and you can try to follow along. So 2, 3, 4. The second time through the verse. What are we going through on that C? And we can do the hammer-ons and pull-offs. To our B minor, to our D, and the chorus. Blame it on the Black Star. And then back to our A minor. To our D, and now G, C add 9, G, then here comes our walking bass, to our D, C add 9, our final bass to move it, then we're back in the verse. What are we going through again? Let's see. You can hammer on and pull off there for a musical effect. B minor. And our D. Then Black Star. Back to A minor. To our D. G, C add 9. Press walking bass. And to end the cycle. And that's the song. Enjoy.